Hello, friends. Today we are going to discuss a book written by President Barack Obama, A Promised Land. I wanted to make a review of this book for a very long time, or even so, I wanted to write about Barack Obama because he was in 2008 such a sensation the world over. His tagline of "Yes, we can" was very famous, and from that time, I wanted to write about Barack Obama, but I could not, or I did not have much information or much understanding about what he was, or his tagline was famous, but how a person was, I did not know that. But this book, yes, this book is an exhaustive book. It's a 700 long page book. So you see, it's a very heavy book, but not that heavy. It's very good, and it is exhaustive, and he has written so much in very intimate detail about everything, every decision that he took, what are the moral dilemmas he had, and many other things. And I am not personally a person, for example, I do not believe in self-help books. I do not believe in this concept of anyone reading a self-help book and understanding the life. I do not believe in that. And it so happens that you can also think that this whole making a schedule, that is why I don't prescribe this schedule in UPSC. I don't believe in having a schedule which I can give you and you would use it for clearing this exam, because every life or every person's life is very unique. Every person's strength and weakness are very unique, and we have to discover who we are, and that is what is the I do believe in that. And but whether we have to, or for then how do we find answers for difficult questions? There may be so many difficult questions that arises in one's life, but then where do we go for finding answer? And I do believe in the statement made by Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, in his book The Long Walk to Freedom, he writes that how so we all look for answers. And how do we look for answers of situations which arise in our life, which may be difficult to deal? And he says, Nelson Mandela says, I learned from the lives of people. I learned from the lives of people how to deal with maybe failure, how to deal with separation, how to deal with maybe some unrequited love, or how to deal with loss, or how to deal with pain. These are all very anxious situations in people's life. What Nelson Mandela says is very prominent, that we should also note, that is that we can learn from others life. Maybe that is what we can learn from parents, grandparents, and many of the people who we see around. But we can also learn from the lives of these people, how he dealt with. Because this reading this, you will understand there are so many occasions being a president. There is so this is a common thing. So whenever somebody I so you ask somebody to read a book, and I say that see, President Obama or Dr. Manmohan Singh or all the prime ministers or great leaders, they read books. So the thing that people usually say is that they have so much of people for helping them. I have very small number of time in my life, and the whole thing goes in working, and I don't have time for reading. This is what people say. But in when I read this book, I understood that in spite of all, in spite of all the things that we imagine, the life of a leader, life of a president, or a life of a prime minister is actually packed with so much of work every day. So much of not only work, so many complex things that goes into their decision making, so many calculations. It actually is a very strange thing how these people operate, and that is what we can learn. As Nelson Mandela says, we can learn from these people. We can learn from any leader that we admire, any person. That is what I don't personally believe in going to this self-help book, and they will say some 10 things to remember, 5 things to remember. What is this 5 things? Is their life only revolving around 10 things or 5 things? It's not that. There are so many things in life, so many complex things in life, and that is what we are made to read this GS paper for ethics. Why? We are made to deal with all these dilemmas because tomorrow, as a leader, you will face that. But without any delay, so what I would do is that I would talk about some important key ones. This book is a very huge book, and it's not possible to review everything. But I will talk about some key events that he talks about in the book, and I will explain you, for example, what we see in paper. We will see in paper how Osama bin Laden was killed. We will see in paper Arab Spring. This Arab Spring was a very huge thing, and we will see in paper this climate convention that happens. But what exactly happens behind the door? What leaders talk? And that is what we will see in this video. So let us go into the video. So the book, as I described, is a Promised Land by Barack Obama, and this is a two-part series. It's not a one book. Actually, one book has been released. It's a two-part series. It's about his whole life and his presidency, and he has written till 2012. So the first term of his presidency, he has ended this book with Osama bin Laden being killed. But there is also one more book which is, I think, in the making, and he is writing it. But let us go into this book for initially. So he starts with a lot of information. So a lot of information about this, the initial days of his life, and he talks about how close that he was with his mother and his father. His father is from Africa, and his mother is from Hawaii. And this is the point. What happens is that actually she becomes divorced, and she becomes a single mother. And Barack Obama, in that young age, he talks about how he feels. In a sense, he talks about in this is the difference between the perception of culture in different societies. In India, it will single mother, it will be looked down upon, they will look down upon, they will actually say bad things. But Barack Obama, being a leader, he sees his mother as a very strong woman. That is what in the initial pages of his book, the strength of his mother is what he talks about. How hard she used to work, and how hard the morality and the ethics she had, or the conviction in which she held political opinions. He talks about how powerful this woman was in his life. And this is it. So if you happen to see one favorite image, or Obama, if you think about it, his family is what comes to my mind every time. And it's his family is always surrounded by women, Michelle Obama and his two daughters. And the respect that he shows, that is clearly visible. You can very well see it in his face when he sees these women of his household, the respect that he has. And where did all this start? Means it started with his mother. And also, if his father actually leaves and he's staying with his mother, and also his grandmother, that is mother's mother, and mother's father. And his grandmother is also becoming a very important part in the initial stages of his life. And this is the point. He starts growing in this Hawaii, and slowly he starts building his habit of reading. That is what. So he says that in the initial years of his life, his mother used to have so much of work, because being a single mother, she was always occupied. What she used to do was, now today, for example, we give this mobile phone and we ask the children to do some work. But we, instead of that, what we can do is that we can give a book. So what she used to do is that she used to give a book, and you have to read that. So Obama had to read that book and tell the condensed version or synopsis of that every day. This is what his grandmother also did. This is what his grandfather also did. His grandfather used to take him to library every day, and he used to get him books and make him analyze these things. And that is what he says. That is how he built this habit of reading books. And also, next he goes into his college, where he becomes this confused person. At that age, we also think, right? I have thought about it. You would have thought about it. What is this confusing age? We do not know where we want to go. Same. He also faces that. Where we want to go, what we want to do, what is this life, what is this life's goal? We never know, right? We never know these answers at the age of very young age, at college, or right out of college. We will not know what to do. Same way he says he is also facing that. Okay, and he was also a person. Then what he does, he was involved in all these community work. He wanted to do something. That is what he says. He wanted to do something, but he did not know what. And if you think about it, in our lives or in your lives, every time or in this young age, you would have felt this: what to do. I want to do something, but what? Okay, you will not know the answer. But not knowing the answer is not a wrong thing. Not knowing the answer is not a wrong thing. Immediately don't go and ask for 10 things in life what to remember. You will find the answer. Okay, you will find five things in life what to. Don't go into that. You introspect, you read, you be what you are. You will definitely find the answer someday. And like, see, like the president, like the person that we are talking about, then he goes into work. After work, in work he finds that is where he finds Michelle Obama. And even today I sometimes wonder. And it's a very, see, love, for example, is a very rare thing. It does not happen that often. It does not happen for everyone. As in the Chandrababu song, if you have heard about the old Tamil song, it's very hard. So it does not happen that easily. But I sometimes get jealous of this person also. Every picture that she shares, you can see the love that both share for each other, or maybe not love, maybe respect or friendship or whatever thing, but they do share that. It shows in that picture. It's not a fake picture. There are so many other fake pictures that you can see, but this is not fake. And the respect that he has for his daughters, and the way he treats and the way he handles them, it's something which I do not know, something which you can emulate also, something which we can learn from also. And I really like the way he does that. But now this is the personal life. So he has met Michelle Obama, and to her he talks. So to her, for example, the same way as many would have talked, I do not know what to do in life, or I do not know whether I would succeed in life, but I will try. This is what he says. And Michelle Obama, same, he also says, just give it a try, just give it whatever that you want. So both are lawyers. The both are lawyers, and she actually directs him to some community work. And what he does initially, he starts this first. So in United States of America, the federalism. So in Indian Constitution, you would have read about a concept called as federalism. Federalism is a concept where there is a center and there is a state constitution. But in India, it is not that. India, we have only one constitution, that is a center. India, that is why it is called as quasi-federal. But in United States of America, there is a union government, but there is also a state government. What happens in the union government is actually kind of replicated in the state government also. There, the state government is also as powerful as the union government. So he is from one state, Illinois, and where he goes for same. So like Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha in India, there is House of Representatives and Senate in USA, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. That is the Senate and the vice versa, Senate and House of Representatives. Same is actually repeated in the state. So he contests for state Senate. He contests for state Senate at around the year 1995 or something, 95, 96 something. And this is where, see, this is what I wanted to say. This is where, for example, his mother becomes very sick. His mother becomes very sick, and she has cancer, and she is about to leave. She is about to leave, and this is see, he is contesting some election, and he wants to run for office, and he wants to make very big things in life. He has a lot of dream, but he himself does not know whether he will accomplish things. But at this moment, at this juncture, terrible personal loss, a loss which is insurmountable. See, this is what everyone's life, as Nelson Mandela says. Where do you find answer for this in self-help books or any other book or any like 10 points to be how to be confident? 10. See, nothing will give you. How can anyone replace a person who has been a very big part of you? How do you learn from that? You can learn from these people. You can learn from your parents. You can learn from your the other people that who are surrounded from you. You can learn how to deal with these situations, because I have seen, see, it happens. Everyone at the end of the day has to face. That is what he says. Obama says at the end of the day, what matters is what who we love. That is what he says. There is nothing else. That is what he says. But the point is that, but the point how he dealt is a very. He's talking about how terrible those days were. See, he's running for state senate. He has to campaign. He has to look good. But on the back of his mind, the loss of his this whole structure, or this whole mother who was very strong in his life. She was leaving and she was suffering, and this made a terrible impact on him. And that is what we feel, that these people are fancy and they have so nothing in life. But in heart, everyone is the same. He is also the same. Every human being. That is what I learned. That is what you learn by reading, or you understand by others' lives, when you read about others' lives. So you will understand that they themselves are. That person may be a president of the United States, but he is a person. At the end of the day, he's a person. At the end of the day, the people who matter is who people who he loves. And this, in many, for example, that is what there is a story in Buddha, so, or a story about Buddha, where you would have read it, where a woman comes and asks Buddha that some personal loss has happened and how to deal with that. And Buddha says, please go and check, or in a sense, I am not able to deal with that. That is what that woman says. But Buddha then gives an direction that go and bring some rice or some food. You go to the village and you knock the doors of the village and you ask for rice. And you should bring rice only from the house where there has not been any personal loss. And the woman goes to the village and comes back and says that everyone has some personal loss. And that is what is at the end of the day, that is the point. So Buddha says that is the point. We have to deal with all these things. And he how he dealt such a big loss was a something you can read and you can understand, and it will be a very nice thing. But then the point is that she dies and he becomes a senate, so he becomes a member of the senate. And everything goes well. But he is not like this is the point. It's not like the elections which happen in India or any other developing nation. You cannot, or USA is also same. You can have a same corrupt politician, but I don't think he was corrupt or something like that to the core. But he was having financial constraints. So, being a senator, you will not have time for practicing, so you will have financial constraint. So that shows in his family relationship between Michelle Obama, and he writes about that. They both have this dispute where he is not earning that much. She is the only person who is earning, and it becomes a problem in the family. And he becomes, so 30, 40 something. So around 30, 40, you become a dad and you have family and you have problems. You have to deal with the money and things like that. But you have also the goal. So he was also having this goal of doing something, but he did not know what. But he did not. But he was going low in money. But at that time, he says again, so to Michelle Obama, we'll try once. If it does not work out, I'll leave. And he tries for many. So again, he tries for Senate. But in what happens is that an interesting thing. He wants to go to the union government. So first state he was there, and he wants to go to the state, union Senate. And before that, he wanted to attend a national convention. So he's from the party Democratic. So in USA there are two parties, Democratic and Republic. He is from a party, Democratic Party. And in not like in India, they in USA there is a different type of political structure where they have this national convention. They it's not they choose the person who is going to run for president. That is each party. Each party will have a national convention, and each state, the state members of the party will elect a person who is going to be a president or the presidential nominee for that year. And in 2000, you would have seen this person, Al Gore. He was the person who talks about climate change. An impactful video about climate change would have been done by this Al Gore. He gets the nomination, but in that national convention, it is 2000. So 2000, Obama flies to that place, and he writes that the point is that 2000 at 2000, he does not get any entry into the national convention of his own party. He does not get entry, but he wants to see Al Gore, or he wants to see the national convention. What he does is that he circles that the national convention. He does not get even a single moment to get inside, and he gets really dejected. See, he's becoming 40. He's a dad. He has money problems and things like that. He's getting a little fat and things like that. So, but and when you come to this place and you want to get inside and you want to see that, he does not even get a single seat in 2000. And the it changes, it changes a little after this. There is this 2011, 2001, the twin tower attack, and he becomes a little vocal about this terrorism, and not only terrorism, he becomes vocal about this invasion about Afghanistan. Okay, but why to went into Iraq? This was a question he kept asking, and he gets this prominence. It's like, for example, Abraham Lincoln also did one such thing when he was running for the president, or when he was coming to prominence. There is a slight similarity between these two people, but what happens is that he talks about Afghanistan invasion, or Afghanistan, US going to Afghanistan was the right thing. Taliban was a regime which helped Osama bin Laden attack the Twin Towers. Okay. But why to attack Iraq and create a lot of unrest in this West Asia was a question that he asked. But as a result, he gets prominence. And in 2004 convention, so that was 2000, he did not get a seat, and he goes round, round, round. Then in 2004, he gets a seat. He gets not only a seat, he gets to speak in that. In that only, you can check it. 2004 Obama National Convention. That was the speech that changed everything. That was the speech, and one more thing. One more thing. That is what. Why reading will see, no self-help book. How to have some speech in, or I am scared. How to talk in front of people. What self-help book will say? Don't you be confident. You be that. 10 things to be confident. See, but when I read this, see, he in 2004 he says he was scared. He says, see, Obama, I do not know whether any current leaders of the world, one of the most very nice talking person, or the leader who is able to talk talk nicely, is Obama. But in 2004, you can check that video. He says he asked to check that video. In that video, initial time, he was scared. Okay, initial time, he says, I was not able to speak properly. I was talking fast. I was not able to gather points and things like that. That is what he says. But at the end of the day, he spoke, and as a result of which, he was there and he got succeeded, and then he was and that speech took him to another level. And that is where I also saw him, and that is where this Yes We Can started. And he wanted to be the presidential nominee. Everything changed. See, everything changed, and he did run for president and the point is that he was running against Hillary Clinton. He was running against Hillary Clinton of the same party. And the moment he discusses in that book is that there were so many struggles, in the sense they were fighting like anything. Same party, that is what I said. In USA, it's a different thing. You have a national convention for getting nominated to your party. So you have a competition between yourself, and they had this competition, and they had this vicious fight. And he narrates how sometimes before a debate, how in Pudupeta, When the screen is not opened, before that they will be talking something. When the screen is opening, they will talk something else, pleasant things. But like that, things have happened between Hillary Clinton and Obama and things like that. But what happens is that he actually gets nominated and he runs against the Republican nominee, John McCain, and he wins. Okay, he wins that competition, and he talks about nice, good things about John McCain and many other things. And one more thing. See, this is where another thing. Again, how do you deal with the personal problem? When he was becoming the president, his grandmother was sick. As I told you, his mother and grandmother were the most important part of his life. But when he was becoming the president, his grandmother was sick, and as a result, he says he was very broken. And before he becomes a president, his grandmother also dies. And how he dealt with that, and the story, or how painful it was, he narrates everything. And he becomes, see, that is what, everything. When you have something that we always think that we will have good things in life. Yes, becoming a president is good thing, but always there will always be a balance. That is what he says. There will always be a balance where you will have one thing and another thing goes away. This is the meaning of life, is what he says. But anyway, so what happened was, he becomes president, and the first thing that he has to tackle is that 2008 crisis. 2008 subprime crisis was a very huge thing, you would have known that. And everything, I remember, for example, I remember he was campaigning against, or he wanted to convict everyone. He wanted to convict all these people who were involved in this subprime crisis. But when he became president, I remember that he comes to the stage and he announces a $700 billion bailout plan. 700 billion at that time, and all 700 billion and all, I had never even seen, or heard. $700 billion they had for bailout. What that meant, I do not know. But he narrates, or the reasons for why he had the $700 billion, and he talks about this ethical dilemmas. In GS paper 4, we have this ethical dilemma, right? And we have this dilemma as a president, where, see, if you do not bail out those banks, what he is talking is that if you do not bail out those banks have people's money, that people have funded the bank, and the banks have given this subprime loans. And if you do not bail out the bank, and the bank becomes bankrupt, the people will lose their money. And how do you, as a president, or as a leader, deal with this problem? You have been campaigning for convicting all these fellows, but at the end of the day, there is what to say. There is a practicality. There is a reason which is involved, and this is what he says, and he did. And he says he took many decisions which regulated banking. Before that, unregulated banking was there. After that, a lot of regulation happened. One more thing he also says is Affordable Care Act, or Obama Care Act. So they asked me this question, or Obama Care. What is Obama Care? So they asked me in interview also. Affordable Care Act. It's an insurance policy, and it was for ensuring the left out people. That is in the United States. So see, in India and all, we never talk. So in the elections, you would have seen, we never ever talk about this insurance being given, or the school, or things. But there they talk about all these things. In this presidential election, he talked about having insurance for everyone, insurance cover for everyone. And he brings in this act, and this is covering all these people who have been left out. But this left out people, that is, he talks about a scenario where, because of political bias, see, the point was that the people which who are being helped, the people who are being helped by this insurance, they themselves started abusing him. So they themselves started abusing him. He talks about many letters coming to his this presidential home, where some people will be abusing, some people will be saying good things, and many things. And what he does is that he takes both, and he takes the letters that helped people. So this Affordable Care Act helped many people, and he takes the good from that and he moves on. And he remembers this act being passed, and at that time he was alone. So his Michelle Obama and his daughters had gone somewhere, and he remembers this act after being passed, having done a good thing, and he being alone in his place with his dog. There is a dog. He had a very favorite dog, Bo. With his dog, he was there and smoking. So he was also a smoker, not much, but I think he also talks about his struggles with smoking. See, he's a normal person. That is what struggles with smoking. He also talks about that. And after this act was passed, so he spent the day, night alone, and being done a good thing, this is affordable character and things like that. But he also talks about international things. Internationally, we would have seen in newspaper, UPSC has this thing, this Copenhagen summit, Copenhagen compromise. We will study climatic convention. That is, the developing countries had this thing at that time, 2000, I think 2010 or something, Copenhagen summit, 2009 or something. I remember reading that in paper. See, we read in paper, but what happened behind the doors, we did not know. The Indian stand or the developing nation stand, because 2008 Kyoto Protocol is ending. 2008, if you see climate convention, to 1993 United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and then comes the protocol which implements that, which is Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol ends in 2008, and hence you have to have a climate convention, which is or something next. Okay, well, so there was this convention Copenhagen where they had to decide this next protocol, and they could not arrive at any conclusion because China, India, Brazil, and this developing nation, they had this thing where they said that they will not, because they will not reduce all these, or they cannot reduce completely, because they had this poverty which has to be reduced, and energy reduction will definitely reduce their inability, or they will create an inability to reduce poverty. And this was, and Dr. Manmohan Singh was the president, and their Chinese president Wen Jiabo, I think. So they were discussing, and at this moment, this is how he deals. He narrates this incident like, see, he has to go. He's in Copenhagen. He has to go for a presidential race. Presidential race is in America. He has to go there, and what happens is that, see, you have this time schedule. See, how do you schedule? This is why I kept saying, there can be no schedule. You have to manage. You have to manage things according to you. Only time schedule that you have to do is that get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, sleep well in 8 hours sleep in the day, or sorry, 8 hours sleep in the night. Okay, so get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is the only schedule. Rest of the day, you take care. Whatever you do, you will manage. And Obama also, for example, on that day, he had this schedule of going to USA for campaigning, and that was a very important campaign which he had to do. His party had asked him to do. And what happens is that he had to finish the meeting in Copenhagen. And snow in Copenhagen, northwestern Europe, and it was snowing heavily, and the airport was about to be closed. So if the airport was closed, he cannot go to the US election, and he cannot campaign. But here also, it was nothing was done. So what he says, immediately he starts running. See, usually protocol suggests that people should be gathered in one room. So he says he directly went. Okay, he directly went like this James Bond movie. He directly went, and in the top floor, he opened the door, and there they were sitting. This our president, our prime minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh was there. Wen Jiabo, the Brazil prime minister was there. President was there. Many and the developing country, they were sitting and talking. Immediately he walks in unannounced. He just talks, and with the 4 5 world leaders, and there comes the compromise. And that is what was in news. Okay, well, there was a compromise, and the other countries were not happy. And how it happened, this is how it happened. Immediately after that, he boards the plane, and he goes to USA, and he campaigns there. And this is the point. This is how you learn from these people. Okay, the point next, then he also talks about a strange thing where he talks about this going to this what is that going to Saudi Arabia, where he was given this this long gold chain, so he talks about personal morality. He did not take that gift, he gave back the gift, but he talks about personal morality, where, or being a leader, you will get all these gifts, kilos, okay, kilos and things like that. And also one very nice, see, this incident in the book I really liked. This incident, in Arab Spring, you would have heard in paper, Arab Spring kept coming. Arab Spring was something where there was a uprising in West Asia, and because they wanted to change the governance pattern. Uh, During that Arab Spring, there everyday paper it came. We used to think that that is the point. Leaders, what work they do, they are happy, But in that Arab Spring, during a Libya crisis, there are many countries who had that crisis. Libya, Muhammad Gaddafi, he was killed in that, but there was a crisis on that day, or crisis during that time. And in that crisis only, he went into hiding, and then he was killed eventually. But USA had what to say? They had this flight which was running to capture all these things, or to prevent atrocities of the government on the people. And in that, what happens? A pilot or someone or a soldier, he misses out. He is missing. So that is what they will say. Come and tell him, Obama. They will come and tell him that the soldier is missing. And at that time he would be in Argentina. At that time he would be in Argentina with his family and his daughters, and they would be wanting to visit that. In Argentina, if you had seen, there is a statue of Jesus Christ, long statue. They would have planned to go there, and they would be having dinner, and the Argentinian president will be there, and he will be talking very nice thing. At that time he would also be eating. But when they came and told that this person was missing, he says that he could not eat, or he was listening to what the person says, he was thinking about the plan, but the mind was with that soldier where he was. And if you think about it, this happened in India also. Our soldier, when the plane crashed and went into Pakistan, this was the thing. Leaders, we think that they have a very happy time, but they have all this thing. And he says that this was a very strange thing. It haunted him that night. He could not see Jesus Christ. That statue was adorable. His girls or his daughters were running and very happy. Michelle Obama was happy, but he was thinking about that soldier. He says he was thinking about that soldier every second. And only when they said that that soldier was fine, he got back to normalcy. And we think that these leaders, their lives are very easy. They can just go away. They are humans. They are humans, and we can very well see that from the book. And next, this is the last thing is that this is the strange thing. Osama bin Laden, so Osama bin Laden's capture. And this is Zero Dark 30. There is a movie called as Zero Dark 30. You can look at it. That movie clearly says how the capturing was done. But what I wanted to say was one other thing. During this capturing, so how the life of a president is. During the capturing, what happens is that Obama is campaigning. Sorry, not campaigning. Obama is thinking about capturing this Osama bin Laden. But at the same time, this fellow, one more president was there. This Trump, he would be campaigning against Obama. He would be campaigning against Obama, saying that Obama is not a U.S. citizen. See, the point is that his father was from Kenya. His father was from Africa. But his mother was from United States of America. This is the difference in Constitution of India and USA. 2021, they asked this question. Only a person born in India can become the leader of the nation? No. In India, it does not. Constitution does not say that. In India, registration and naturalization, if you do, according to the Citizenship Act 1955, you can become the head of the state. But USA, no. USA, if you are not born in USA, you cannot become the head of the state. And that was taken up by this person called as Trump, and he was against Obama. And Obama narrates in that book. See, he is dealing with terminating Osama bin Laden. Behind the doors, these things are happening. He's preparing for all that. See, he is preparing for such an important event, but outside there is a circus which is going on by this clown who is called as the Strum. And what he does is that he talks about this. You show me your identity card. You show me that card. You show me this card. And this is being blown out with the help of TV and the latest social media and things. He talks about that. He talks about how hard it was for him dealing with a terrorist who was going to be executed, and then this clown who was there, and to deal with both these things. And this is the life of a leader, this is the life of a leader we learn from this book, for example. And he ends that this is the end he has, and he is writing the next 4 years. I hope that book comes soon. I'm waiting for that. And I hope you like this story. I hope you It's a very long story, so, and many things are there. See, I have left so many things, and it's a wonderful journey to look into the life of a leader and learn from how they have dealt with all these difficult situations. Tomorrow, when and you will become an IAS officer or an IPS officer, or any leader, you will become a leader, and you will want to know how to deal with all these things. And I would suggest this book, and I would recommend this book for anyone who wants to know how to. And he is a very favorite person also. So I will also say I'm a very biased towards this person, and whatever he does is adorable. Whatever he says is adorable. Whatever he wants to do or accomplish in life, I will always remember this person as someone who made me realize, if we think about doing something and if we work towards that, and yes, we can do that. So you also can do that. So please do like this video, share this. It's a very long video, but like this video, share this video, and if subscribe to Minds of Aspirant channel. And there is a Minds of Aspirant Telegram group as well. In that, UPSC related, so many things you can have, book related things, many other doubts, whatever you want. The link is in the description. You can join that Telegram group, and you can ask me those doubts. Thank you all, and good night.